Got some exclusive footage from a couple of very, very important individuals regarding this horrific, tragic attack yesterday. I've got a retired Secret Service officer, 25 years, working for the Secret Service. I'm going to share with you that clip. I also have a person who actually served in the same unit as the individual who drove his car on Bourbon Street, ending the lives of, I think now the death toll is up to 15. It could be more. Over 30 people injured. It was horrific. New Year's Day, 2025. Can you just slow your roll, please? It's only been a day, for crying out loud. It's insane. But he shares some really interesting details about the driver who apparently was a military man, was somebody who trained at the same exact Fort Bragg as Ryan Rutte, who was the second assassination attempt on Trump. Same exact military base as the individual that we now know who was in the Cybertruck that exploded in front of Trump Tower in Las Vegas. But the FBI says there's zero link. And watch this.
Response teams finished their work at the crime scene. Bourbon Street has been turned over to the city of New Orleans. As you know, there's also an FBI investigation in Las Vegas. We are following up on all potential leads and not ruling everything out. However, at this point, there is no definitive link between the attack here in New Orleans and the one in Las Vegas. And again, I'll preface everything with what I started with in the beginning, which was this is very early in an investigation like this.
So this is really strange. I'd love to get your comments on this. So the FBI is essentially saying there is zero link to the New Orleans and Las Vegas attacker, even though they both rented the vehicles to implement their attacks from the same exact place and app. Both were in the military. Both trained at the same military base, Fort Bragg, also known as Fort Liberty. Both carried out an attack on the same day, and both were radicalized toward terrorism against the U.S.? I beg your pardon? You mean to tell me these are just coincidences? This is the same FBI, mind you, that said that this guy right now that you see on your screen, Matthew Thomas Crooks, the individual who attempted to assassinate our president-elect, soon-to-be president, thank God, I can't wait, January 20th, can't get here fast enough, President Trump, they said that he acted alone. This guy right here. Who was he communicating with? This photo right here, right before he initiated that climb to the roof and attempted to assassinate our president. Who's he talking to right here? And by the way, we still to this day, hopefully Kash Patel or Pam Bondi or somebody can give us some information. Somebody who's not an absolute treasonous traitor who is bought and sold and paid for. Maybe somebody can tell us now, because we still, July 13th this happened, many months ago. We still have no clue what happened to him. Who was he affiliated with? What happened to the Secret Service investigation? We still have no idea. It's the same FBI that's telling us that these two attacks that happened on New Year's Day have zero connection. What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. So we know a little bit about this Jabar individual who carried out the attack on New Orleans. Las Vegas Police Department just gave this moments ago, this press conference talking about the perpetrator in the Las Vegas attack. Watch this.
So as I'm calling it now, the subject or person of interest, I will not come back until I have the confirmation through DNA or medical records that this is indeed, in fact, the subject inside of the vehicle. Now, further complicating this identification of this individual, we also discovered through the coroner's office that the individual had sustained a gunshot wound to the head prior to the detonation of the vehicle. One of the handguns was found at his feet inside of the vehicle. Obviously, in how we're trying to identify him, and I'm feeling comfortable to give you this information, is a tremendous amount of substantial evidence to include he rented the Turo vehicle. There are 2 tattoos, one of which was on the stomach and one of which is on the arm, that we can see bits and pieces of it as in comparison to what it is that we now know he had on his body. That has given us a lot of confidence that this is, in fact, the same person, as well as the clearly obvious, which is the credit cards, the military identification, the passport. And then furthermore, as you'll see here in just a very short period of time, we tracked his movements from Colorado to Las Vegas, and in a number of the photographs that we were able to determine, he was the individual that was driving the vehicle. And also, I'd like to iterate this point to you. We still have only ever seen him in this vehicle, and we're not aware of any other subjects involved in this particular case. Now, I would like to acknowledge a couple of things because I know what's going on in the social media world, and there are a number of things in this case that are similar to the attack in New Orleans. We do know that our subject here served in the military. In fact, he's a current member of the military. Both of the subjects served at Fort Bragg, North Carolina. What we do know about that is it's a very large military base, and we have no record that they served in the same unit or even at the same years at Fort Bragg, something that continues to remain under investigation. I also know that they both served in Afghanistan in 2009. We don't have any evidence that they were in the same province in Afghanistan, the same location, or the same unit. Again, something else that remains under investigation. And we also know, of course, that they both used the rental company Turo to rent their vehicles. As far as his military background, it's been confirmed by DOD that he was indeed in the United States Army. He was also a Green Beret operations sergeant who spent most of his time at Fort Carson, Colorado, and in Germany. He was on approved leave from Germany, where he was serving with the 10th Special Forces Group.
So Matthew Lillensberger is a Green Beret sergeant, as you heard the Las Vegas police chief just said in that press conference. You'll notice something here on his shirt. Right here is a Slava Ukraine shirt. I wanted to share that because I think that's extremely telling. This individual in our military, still active, a Green Beret sergeant, was somebody who actively supported the radical extreme left agenda, policies, support of the Ukrainian war effort. That's not all. I also did some digging and some research, and I found this out about his spouse, his wife, on some posts that she made on Facebook and other entities. Check this out. So this is that same photo, just kind of zoomed out a little bit. That is his wife. Her name is Sarah Livelsberger. I'm butchering that name. So her name is Sarah, and she posted this on social media supporting Barack Obama. And then check this out. She also posted this AntiTrump post. Look what this lady got in the mail as a surprise. Perks of being a registered Democrat, a bunch of smiley faces. I can't wait to slap this baby on my truck. So it's one of those anti-Trump posters, Stop Bigotry. He was a 37-year-old Green Beret sergeant living in Colorado Springs, in the United States of America, an active member of our military, as well as Jabar, active member of our military, who is an American citizen, a military vet. It's just unbelievable that this is what's happening. I have a lot to say about this, but let's go to the Secret Service. Check out what he says real quickly. This is really good.
I'm a retired Secret Service agent, and I think I know a thing or two about protection and how to get through life safely. I protected presidents for 25 years, and unfortunately, I have a pretty bad feeling about what's happening right now. If you take a close look at this early morning hours event that took place down in Louisiana, and then a few hours later in Nevada, I don't believe in coincidences. Okay, you might, I don't. I think you should do yourself a favor and check out Sarah Adams. Sean Ryan's interviewed her several times, and she's been talking about what's coming our way in 2025. And if what she's talking about is what just happened, they wasted no time. Get it? You should be ready to protect yourself and defend yourself and your family. I'm not saying live in fear and be a hermit, but when you go out, for God's sake, pay attention to what's going on around you. Unfortunately, I think it's here.
So he's talking about Sarah Adams, who is a former CIA targeter who wrote and authored a book on Benghazi. And she was interviewed recently, almost 6-7 months ago, talking about the potentiality of what happened on New Year's Day. Watch this.
How certain are you that we'll see something in 2025?
I'm certain we'll either have embassy attacks in 2025 or the Homeland attack, or both.
She also went on to say that Al-Qaeda and ISIS and the Taliban have essentially consolidated their efforts, and have been planning, strategizing attacks here within the United States, all through the abysmal border policies of former border czar and phony-in-chief Kamala Harris and vegetable-in-chief Tombstone Biden, because they have literally lifted all restrictions on our border and rolled out the red carpet. She went on to say that she thinks over 1,000 trained Al-Qaeda agents are within the U.S. borders, and maybe even more.
Yo, this dude was in my unit. And then they released his name as Shamu De Jabar. And then they released his picture here. And then I find this video.
I just want to say hello and let you know a little bit about me.
And as I'm watching that video, I hear this man's voice and it clicks. We were stationed together. We were at the same duty station together. We deployed together. When I tell you that I am completely mind blown, like if you would have met this guy back in the day when I knew him, he was just, this is crazy. Like I'm at a loss for words. Like I'm really at a loss for words right now. Like you think you know people. I've reached out to some of my battle buddies from that unit. I'm trying to get some more information on the guy.
That was a quick snippet of a military man who obviously, by proving that he was in the military, said that he was in the same unit as the perpetrator in the New Orleans attack. And I just want to share that real quickly because it kind of just brings a whole different perspective of reality to this situation, and the fact that he was just at a loss of words. You can kind of see it was cut off there. He said, if you would have met this man when I met him, almost as if to say, never in a million years anybody could have seen this coming. I can't wait to get your comments on everything. Let me know down below what you think of this. My kind of final thought on this is there's more information coming out, obviously, and I'll keep you posted on everything, but there's two things at play here. Number one, you have the worst administration in the last 4 years, maybe even 12 of the last 16 years in the history of our country. This is truly tragic because this is an administration that really is kind of controlled by the powers that be that fund them and control everything. They've sown such divisiveness and dissension amongst our fellow American citizens that the enemies within is almost impossible to measure and track. I mean, the crimes against humanity, not just the U.S., committed by Obama, Biden, Soros, Kamala, all of them, Holly weirdos, the whole entire cabal, the propagandist media, it's vast, to say the least. Rebuilding will involve way more than policies, way more than legislation, and way more than strategy. We need to rebuild the American psyche. This starts in our homes. This starts with what they're exposed to, our children, both in higher ed institutions, educational institutions. I mean, not even just higher ed, from the beginning all the way up and down to media, etc., etc. I'm not sure how long that's going to take, rebuilding the American psyche, if ever. But that's what I think really needs to happen. We have literally indoctrinated our youth. Mangione, this young man, this Green Beret sergeant, who they said they found, he was I don't know if it was self-inflicted or not. It's very bizarre. We do know that Cybertrucks and Tesla, they are self-driving cars. Who knows if he was planted there? I don't know. We don't know everything yet, but I mean, the feeling I get is the radicalization of two American citizens from within. That coupled with the border policies of this abysmal administration have created a train wreck. And the only light at the end of this 4-year dark tunnel is January 20th, 2025. And he can't take his oath fast enough. I will keep you posted. As always, make sure you follow, make sure you subscribe, sign up for our free newsletter in the pinned comment below. Check out these videos coming up on the screen right here. Tap my face right there to follow and subscribe. As always, may God bless you. May God bless the USA. I will see you soon.